If you're questioning whether Christianity is true, you're not alone. Many people wonder if faith in Jesus is based on blind belief or if there's actual historical and logical evidence behind it. One of the most important questions is, did Jesus really rise from the dead? If the resurrection happened, it proves that Jesus is who he claimed to be, the Son of God, and that Christianity is true. One of the most fascinating cases for the resurrection comes from Sir Lionel Luckhoo, 1914–1997, a world-renowned defense attorney who holds the Guinness World Record for 245 consecutive murder case acquittals. As a skeptic, he decided to apply legal reasoning to the resurrection of Jesus. His conclusion? I say unequivocally, the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is so overwhelming that it compels acceptance by proof which leaves absolutely no room for doubt. But what evidence convinced him? Let's examine the key facts that led him to this verdict. Eyewitness testimonies, the foundation of any case. In legal trials, multiple eyewitness accounts strengthen a case. When Luckhoo examined the resurrection, he found that Jesus appeared to Peter and the 12 disciples, over 500 people at once, many still alive at the time of writing, meaning their testimony could be verified. James, Jesus' skeptical brother Paul, a former persecutor of Christians, see 1 Corinthians 15:3–8, for these eyewitness claims. Why does this matter? People don't risk torture and execution for something they know is a lie, yet Jesus' followers, who had been scared and in hiding, suddenly became bold preachers willing to die rather than deny seeing him alive. The empty tomb, a fact no one disputed. Even Jesus' enemies never denied the tomb was empty. They just tried to explain it away. Jewish leaders claimed the disciples stole the body, Matthew 28:11–15. Romans had every reason to stop Christianity, but never produced a body. If the body were still in the tomb, Christianity would have collapsed immediately in Jerusalem. Legal principle. When both hostile and friendly sources agree on a fact, the tomb was empty. It strengthens its credibility. The first witnesses were women, a mark of authenticity. In first-century Jewish and Roman culture, women's testimonies were not considered reliable. Yet, all four Gospels report that women, Mary Magdalene and others, were the first to see the empty tomb and the risen Jesus, Mark 16:1–8, John 20:11–18. If this story were made up, it would have been smarter to list men as the first witnesses for credibility. Legal principle. If a testimony includes culturally inconvenient details but is still reported, it suggests authenticity rather than fabrication. Enemies of Jesus became his followers. Two of the biggest skeptics and enemies of Christianity became believers after seeing Jesus alive. James, Jesus' brother, did not believe in Jesus during his ministry, John 7:5, but became the leader of the Jerusalem church and was later killed for his faith. Paul, formerly Saul, a fierce persecutor of Christians, but after encountering Jesus, he became Christianity's greatest missionary and endured intense persecution, 2 Corinthians 11:23–28. What could cause such a dramatic transformation? Seeing the risen Jesus, the explosion of Christianity against all odds. Christianity spread rapidly in the very city where Jesus was crucified, a place where people could have easily disproven it. The Romans and Jewish leaders tried to crush it, yet it thrived. It grew without military power, wealth, or political influence, only through the testimony of ordinary people. If the resurrection were a lie, why didn't it collapse under persecution? Luckhoo's final verdict. After examining all this evidence, Sir Lionel Luckhoo became a Christian and dedicated his life to sharing the message of Jesus. His conclusion: the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is so overwhelming that it compels acceptance by proof which leaves absolutely no room for doubt. If the resurrection is true, then Jesus is who he claimed to be, the Son of God. His victory over death proves eternal life is real. We are invited to place our trust in him for salvation. If you're questioning Christianity, don't dismiss it without investigating the evidence. The resurrection is not just a religious claim, it's a historical event with compelling proof. The question is, what will you do with this evidence?